Excuse
Move
me,
approval.
Alderman Rainey,
Oh, what did I do? Oh, we have to suspend the rules.
have a motion to suspend the rules?
Yes. Alderman Sufferton, could you handle that?
Sure. I move that we suspend the rules to allow for this meeting to be conducted remotely.
Okay. Is there a second? All right. Will Dave Stoneback, will you call the roll? Are you our staff person?
Yes.
Okay.
Alderman Rue Simmons,
Yes.
Alderman Sufferton,
Aye.
Alderman Rainey.
Aye. All right. I declare that the rules have been suspended and we can move on with a virtual meeting. I move approval of the regular Administrative and Public Works Committee meeting minutes, July 27. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion or corrections? Hearing none. All those in favor, well, I'm going to say all those in favor, just say aye. We can't do that. All right. This is on the consent agenda. This is hard. All right. First item is approval of the City of Evanston payroll, bills, and credit card activity. Let's take it all in one lump sum in the amount of, let's see. Yes.
I'm sorry. Could we please separate out the payroll?
Yes, I will.
The bills.
I will. Yes, I will.
Thank you.
I will. All right. First of all, we have July 6th through July 19. Let me reduce this so I can see it. July 19 in the amount of $2,838,102.61. We have bills list. All right, that's the payroll. All right. I'm going to move approval. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Call the roll.
Alderman Rue Simmons,
Aye.
Alderman Sufferton,
Aye.
Alderman Rainey.
Aye. All right. The payroll passes. Next, bills list for August 11, 2020 in the amount of $7,328,482.67. I guess we're supposed to do these separately. I move approval.
Second.
Alderman Rue Simmons,
Aye.
Alderman Sufferton,
No.
Alderman Rainey.
Aye. Bills list pass. Moving on, credit card activity. This is BMO Harris. Is that correct? The credit card activity?
Yes, it does not include Amazon purchases.
Okay, it does not. All right. Activity for the period ending May 26, 2020 in the amount of $211,195.38. I move approval.
Second.
All right. Will you call the roll, please?
Alderman Rue Simmons,
Aye.
Alderman Sufferton,
Aye.
Alderman Rainey.
Aye. Okay. All right. That takes care of that. All right. Moving to A3. Alderman Sufferton, will you handle that?
I'm just a second.
McQueen.
Here you go. I move approval of item A3, which is funding to McQueen equipment for emergency repairs to the Pierce Arrow Fire Truck number 313. Staff recommends City Council approve payment in the amount of $36,781.06 to McQueen equipment for emergency repairs previously performed on fire truck number 313. Fire truck 313 is used by the fire department and is critical to continue necessary operations throughout the city. McQueen is the sole source vendor for these repairs. Funding will be from materials to maintain autos fleet fund with a budget of $1,055,250 and a year-to-date balance of $557,380.57 for action.
Second.
All right. Any discussion on this? This was an emergency repair, and we're paying for it. We're approving it after the fact. All right. Could you call the roll?
Alderman Rue Simmons,
Aye.
Alderman Sufferton,
Aye.
Alderman Rainey.
Aye. That passes. We're recommending it to the council.
Alderman
Pardon me?
Sorry to interrupt. These might all be consent.
I know, but doesn't the committee, I mean, I haven't chaired Administration Public Works in a while. Doesn't the committee discuss these? I mean, I know Alderman Fleming last meeting, because she was in a rush, didn't want to deal with any of these, but some of these are kind of important.
Yeah, I'm happy to go through them. I just wanted to let you know, because sometimes when I do this too, where if you're looking at the council agenda, it doesn't split them out. If you look at the committee agenda, it has them split out as being on consent or not. I'm happy to go through them individually.
Yeah, we'll whip through them because the council agenda isn't really, really big.
Okay.
So let's not. I don't think we're going to drag them out a lot. Alderman Simmons, A4.
A4.
Alderman Simmons?
Yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt. This is Luke Stowe. We actually want to pull this item because we need to make some changes and bring it back at a future date.
See,
Okay.
we're moving right along. Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry.
That'll be
Okay.
pulled. Dave,
A5.
could you keep track of that for us?
A5.
Yes,
Approval of Go ahead, Director Stoneback.
I'm keeping track that it was removed.
Thank you. A5, approval of a contract extension with Felon Materials for fiscal year 2020 leaf hauling disposal. Staff recommends City Council authorize the city manager to execute a one-year contract extension with Felon Materials LLC for the leaf hauling disposal in the not to exceed amount of $40,000. Funding is provided by the Motor Fuel Tax Fund, which has a fiscal year budget, has a 2020 budget of $120,000, of which $40,000 still remains. This is for action.
Second. Any discussion? All right. I understand what you're saying now, Alderman Sufferton. We don't need to be voting on these. That's where we're taking up time. All right, let's move on, and these are going to be on the consent agenda. All right, A6 is approval of administrative fee increase to the commercial solid waste franchise to support the city's zero waste by 2050 goal. This is an interesting one. I move approval.
Second.
Any discussion? This has some impact on, I know the staff memo indicates that it doesn't really have impact on, at least on the configurations they presented to us, but I would really like to see some concrete examples of like restaurants and apartment buildings, et cetera, and how they're not going to be impacted. But the only reason why I'm not going to drag this out is because what we're being asked to do is to let staff put together an ordinance and bring it back to us where we can see all the details. So is that all right with everybody? Just let them go ahead and bring it back to us?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So it's been moved and seconded. All right. Alderman Sufferton, A7.
Alderman Sufferton just sent me an email indicating that his power just went out. He's going to see if he can get back in. So we don't have a quorum at this point in time.
I heard that ding.
Hey, Dave, he might be able to call in through the phone number, so at least he could have audio only.
Okay, I will advise him of that.
If you want, I can text him the phone number and so forth.
Yeah, that would be great if you could do that.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So we're going to be on hold for those who still have power. I'm noticing, at least where I live on the south end of town, the wind is picking up. That's for sure.
Can someone make contact with the rest of council to make sure we'll have a quorum for council?
Good point.
I will check on that.
Hear us?
Yes, I got you now. Sorry about that. Everything's broken. So I'm good to go. I apologize.
So we're back in business.
Yes. My
Alderman
apologies.
Simmons.
Yes.
Okay. We left off at the CDW purchase, A4.
No, we had gone through A5 and A6 as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah, we did do one. Right. Okay. A6. All right. That's right. We did the waste. Right, okay. All right. So A7 is the water laboratory renovation. Alderman Simmons, why don't you take that? We'll get started.
A7, approval of contract award with ALL Construction Group for water quality laboratory renovation. Staff recommends the City Council authorize the city manager to execute an agreement with ALL Construction Group for the water quality laboratory renovation in the amount of $1,474,990. Funding is provided from the water fund, which has an approved 2020 budget of $1 million and a year-to-date balance of $1 million. Another $1 million is proposed to be allocated in the 2021 budget for a total project budget of $2 million. This is for action.
Second. All right. Any discussion? Hearing none. Moving along, I'll take A8. Approval of a contract award with Rogue Inc. for the Evanston Shoreline Improvements Project. Staff recommends City Council authorize the manager to execute an agreement with Rogue for the Evanston Shoreline Improvements Project in the amount of $746,400. And funding is provided from the Capital Improvements Fund. I'm wondering if staff wants to do a short presentation here, or do you want to wait for the council meeting?
We were going to wait for the council meeting.
That's good. Okay, thank you. Alderman Suffolk and Alderman Simmons, any comments?
No comments.
No, that's good. Thank you.
Was an excellent presentation, I thought, just excellent. All right, moving right along, A9, Alderman Sufferton.
I move item A9, which is approval of change order number 1 to the agreement with Capital Cement Company for the 2020 CDBG improvements and waste transfer of alleys. Staff recommends the City Council authorize the City Manager to execute change order number 1 to the agreement with Capital Cement Company for 2020 CDBG improvements and waste transfer station alleys in the amount of $75,700. This will increase the overall contract amount from $1,009,403.36 to $1,085,103.36. Funding will be provided from the Waste Transfer Station Fund, which has an approved fiscal year 2020 budget of $560,000 and year-to-date balance of $396,158. For action.
I second it. I have comments though.
Thank you. Yes, Alderman Simmons.
Director Stoneback, we had our concerned environmental community to, I only briefly saw the correspondence before we started this meeting. Can you give any feedback or comment on if any of these plans contradict our CARP goals? And also, will you let me know if this includes additional identified projects for green infrastructure, trees and sidewalks that would replace the alleys that we're not going to do in the 5th Ward? Or would that come later?
This item is to add the replacement of sidewalks in the 5th Ward within the waste transfer station area. And the funding is available because we were unable to get to the alley that was proposed to be restored in the 5th Ward.
Were there trees? I thought we were going to look at trees also, or there were none identified?
There are approximately 25 trees that could be planted as well, but that would go under a separate purchase order when we go for the fall tree planting
Thank you.
award.
And can you speak to any knowledge of these projects in the impact area of the waste transfer station being in any contradiction to our CART plans? I'm not aware of any, but is there any comment on that?
I'm not aware of any violation of the CART plan either with the replacement of the sidewalks.
Thank you, Director.
Are there complaints, Alderman Simmons?
Well, there was a note of concern that was to speak to how we are moving forward with infrastructure projects as it relates to our environmental commitments. And that's something I would just make sure that staff looks at going forward on all of our infrastructure projects. Make sure that you're prepared for comment on its
Right.
environmental responsibility, whatever it is that we're doing.
Absolutely. Okay, all right. Okay, but this can stay on the consent, right?
Yes, please.
Okay,
I just wanted to respond to them since they had concerns.
absolutely.
Alderman Rainey.
Yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt. We did have one public comment for AP&W. That's Mike Vasoko.
Oh, okay. Is it appropriate right now?
Probably
Mike,
sooner. Go
are you
ahead.
there? I don't know what his issue is. Do you know what? Okay.
Luke, do you know what item you want to speak to?
He did not specify. I just asked to share his video and audio.
I'm sorry.
Why don't we take it now so we don't get too far ahead?
Yeah, but we can't get in touch with him.
Right here.
Oh, there he is, Mike.
I've been here.
Would you like to speak now? I'm sorry, I didn't know you were on the list.
Well, it's kind of water under the bridge, so to speak, but I was surprised that there was no discussion on, spending as much as you spent on bills, over $5 million with no discussion. I also think the shoreline 8.8, which I think you're in the middle of talking about, I think it's needed. I think something's needed, but I think it should be postponed until you have money to spend into next year. And I know it may not be on the agenda for this meeting, but I'd like to address the fact that there are only, I think, 3 complaints that were attached to a Human Services report for the police department, all of which were dismissed, which I think is support for not defunding the police without a lot more evidence to do so. Thank you very much.
Mike, the shoreline, I think that there was consensus among the 3 of us that since we're only 3, that the presentation will be at the council meeting and that's where a discussion will take place. So I think you should speak to it there also, okay?
I will.
All right, thank you. All right, so let's get back to the agenda here. Let's see, next. The amicus brief, A10. City of Evanston, I move approval of the City of Evanston joining the amicus brief in Fulton versus the City of Philadelphia. This is a request that we join Philadelphia in a case before the U.S. Supreme Court having to do with their not wanting to be involved with social service agency that will not allow for gay couples to foster children. That's sort of the simple description. I move approval.
Second.
Alderman Rainey, may
Yeah.
I jump in?
Yes.
And I'm sorry, Nick, I think you're probably the person to answer this. Who made this request? And if it's in the packet, I apologize. I cannot open it.
It is
right
in
now.
the packet, yeah.
Who did the request come from?
It came from the law department, from the
Law
corporation council.
department. Yes.
Well, but I'm saying, like, you initiated it, or did somebody external ask that we join this?
So there was a sort of a consortium of municipal corporations that had a call to sort of inform us on this issue. And they asked if various cities wanted to sign on. and we felt we needed city council approval in order to be able to sign on this, on the brief that's going to be
Okay,
written.
gotcha, man. Thank you. I appreciate it.
So you have not read this?
Me?
Is that a question for me or for Mr. Alderman?
No, it's for Alderman Suffredin.
No, I read it, but right now I can't open, I've got the agenda open, but I can't, click on the blue link and get the memo to come up. I don't have any electricity.
I know, but isn't there some way, Luke, that you can text this to him?
Sure, I can do that.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't forget. It's cool. I got my question answered. I'll vote yes. I'm good to go.
There's a time issue on this, so I'd like you to see it so that you can. I mean, if you're having concerns about it, I would like you to make certain that that you can see it. All right. So, does anybody want to take this off, or can we leave it on the consent agenda?
I'm good. You can leave it on.
Cool. All right, cool. All right. Next, welcome, Alderman Braithwaite. I see you.
Thank you, Alderman Rainey.
All right. Next item is, let's see, what is the next item?
A11?
Yes, Alderman Simmons, would you take A11?
Sure. A11, Resolution 67R20, acknowledging the participation in completion of the ComEd Green Region Program for the pollinator habitat improvement along the North Shore Channel project. Staff is recommending the City Council adopt Resolution 67R20, acknowledging the participation and completion of ComEd Green Region Program for the pollinator habitat improvement along the North Shore Channel project. This is for action.
Okay. Second, this is sort of a housekeeping issue here, and we'll get that taken care of. Any concerns here? We move along, leave this on the consent agenda, all right? Alderman Braithwaite, are you ready?
Yes, Alderman Rainey.
Okay, A12?
I'd like to move for action. Item A12 is Resolution 68-R-20, authorizing the city manager to enter into a lease agreement with the United States Postal Office for parking in the parking garage located at 1800 Maple Avenue. Staff's recommending that adoption. Facilities Real Estate Division, blah, blah, blah. City of Evanston's parking garage is at 1800 Maple. UPS will pay the city $110,352 a year through October 31st. That's a lot of money. That's good stuff.
Okay. All right, is there a second?
Second.
All right. And that 110,000 is up from 71,280 from the previous lease. So that is good stuff. So, all right. Any discussion on this? We'll leave it on the consent agenda. All right. I'll take 13, Resolution 69R20, extending the state of emergency until September 14. I move approval.
Second.
Discussion? Hearing none? Keep it on the agenda. Okay. Alderman Suffredin, A14?
Sure. I move item A14, which is Resolution 70R20, intergovernmental agreement for coronavirus relief funds with Cook County. Staff recommends City Council adoption of Resolution 70R20, authorizing the city manager to execute an intergovernmental agreement for coronavirus relief funds with Cook County. This is for action.
All right, thank you. Second, any discussion? We're getting some dollars here, okay? All right, we'll leave this on the consent agenda, correct? Moving on. Alderman Braithwaite, A15?
Chair, I'd like to move item A15 for action. That's amending Title 10, Chapter 11, Section 10, limited parking in Title 10 and Chapter 11, Section 12, parking zones for the city of Evanston pertaining to the parking on Greenwood Street.
Second.
Any discussion on this? Hearing none, we'll leave it on the consent agenda. I'll take a 16 ordinance 790020. Staff is recommending that we introduce this ordinance by which the City Council would amend Title III Business Regulations, Chapter 2 Municipal Occupation Taxes of the Evanston Municipal Code, providing for an infrastructure maintenance fee. This, I move approval.
Second.
All right, just, I don't know if Kumar is on this call, but just briefly, this trades our free electricity for an infrastructure maintenance fee. And the anticipation is it will be more lucrative to the city as opposed to free electricity. Kumar, welcome.
Absolutely. Good evening. My name is Kumar Jensen. I'm the Chief Sustainability and Resilience Officer for the City of Evanston. And Alderman Rainey, I think you summed it up pretty succinctly and effectively, but essentially under a current agreement that the city has with ComEd, ComEd collects a fee from Evanston ratepayers, so that's not just residents, but also from businesses and industrial accounts, that they then use the funds that they collect from that fee, which is called, which shows up on bills as a franchise cost. And they use the revenue from that fee to provide the city with about $480,000 in unbilled or free electricity on an annual basis. And so staff has done an evaluation of switching that fee, the way that fee is remitted back to the city, and the alternative way of remitting that fee, the revenue collected from that fee back to the city, is in cash, monthly cash payments from ComEd. And what we've been able to determine, as we pointed out in the memo, is that over a year of having a switch to a fee like this, city staff believe that we'll be able to save between $70,000 and $90,000, which actually will show up as revenue of $70,000 to $90,000, because what will happen is that we'll receive a monthly remittance from ComEd for the value that they're collecting. And then we will also be able to, instead of buying electricity from ComEd, we will go out and find an alternative supplier that we can purchase renewable energy from, also hopefully at a much lower rate than what ComEd provides. And that is where we would see some savings in that switch.
Okay. Any questions for Kumar? That was a lot of work. Thank you very much for bringing this to us. Okay, hearing none, I'm sure you'll get some at the council maybe. Okay, I don't know what that was. All right, hearing no objections, we'll leave this on the consent agenda. I'm sure there'll be maybe some discussion there, I'm not sure. All right, so items for consideration that will be off the consent agenda. I'm going to move approval of the BMO Harris Amazon credit card activity. This is in the amount of $10,827.13. I move approval.
Second.
Okay, any discussion of any of these expenses? Hearing none. Mr. Stoneback, will you call the roll, please?
And this is for item A2. We still need to have a
Yes.
roll for the consent agenda.
Yes, I know. Oh, should we do that? We should do that first, probably.
I believe so, yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. Ugh. All right, I'm going to move approval of the consent agenda for the Administration and Public Works Committee.
With item A4 having been removed by staff.
Right. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you.
Alderman Braithwaite,
Aye.
Alderman Ruth Simmons,
Aye.
Alderman Sufferton,
Aye.
Alderman Rainey.
Aye.
And now I think you need to take a vote.
Sorry, yeah, right. Yeah, sorry, I mixed that up. A2, approval of BMO Harris Amazon credit card activity in the amount of $10,827.13. I move approval.
Second.
Could you call the roll?
Alderman Braithwaite,
Aye.
Alderman Ruth Simmons,
Aye.
Alderman Sufferton,
I abstain.
Alderman Rainey.
Aye. Okay. All right. So are there any items for discussion or communication? Hearing none, I'll accept a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. All right. We need to take the roll on that.
Alderman Braithwaite,
Aye.
Alderman Ruth Simmons,
Aye.
Alderman Sufferton,
Aye.
Alderman Rainey.
Aye. We are adjourned.